the number one show I know that we all agree on. Let's break the bank with Lerk and Deion.
Welcome back to another episode of the Break the Bank podcast. This is your boy Lerk. As always, I'm with my guys X and Deion. Yo, it's good, fellas. All-Star weekend. My opinion, probably one of the worst All-Star weekends of my entire existence. Pretty fucking boring for the most part. How you guys feel about weekend as a whole, bro? How you feel about it?
Shit trash.
You didn't like the Saturday?
I thought the 3-point contest was decent. It was pretty cool. That's probably been like the most entertaining thing over the last few years, but the dunk contest was garbage. The skills contest, I haven't been into the skills contest ever since they changed the format. But the dunk contest was trash outside of like Trey Murphy had a few fire dunks. Matt McClung stole the show, but that's not really saying much. Also, I enjoyed Matt McClung's performance, right? From beginning to end, but I felt like that dunk where he had dude sitting on the shoulders was a bit overrated. Like dude who was squatting had dude on his shoulders. It's the same thing as probably jumping over a 7-footer at best. Like which is still impressive. But it's just like the fact that like I'm not even the tap the backboard part was crazy. I'm not talking about the dunk as a whole. I'm talking about just the jumping over. I'm talking about just the jumping over the two people and people making it seem like he jumped over a 10-foot person or some shit. But the tapping the backboard into the dunk after that is insane. The double clutch reverse, the 3-6, like he really OD'd it. And we spoke about that last week. Probably the most creative, crazy bunnies. X didn't have no faith, but
that was honestly. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I had never heard of dude up until I couldn't pick him out of a fucking lineup if he murdered somebody. So honestly, that was my first time watching him. So yeah, I'm stupid. I just didn't know who he was. So I was talking out of my ass last week.
But like you said the dunk was overrated. And
no,
then
I didn't mean that. Yeah, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean
17 things that were impressive, but overall, overrated.
I didn't mean the whole dunk. When I first brought it up, I didn't mean the whole dunk. It was just like the jumping over the two people part I felt was overrated because of the way it was all set up. The dunk itself was OD. I misspoke when I first brought it up. That's not what I meant.
I agree, like the jumping over. If people are like, "Oh, he jumped over two people," like that's crazy. Like I agree with that aspect of it, but like.
That's what I meant. The rest of it was just insane.
Yeah, I mean, he tapped the backboard.
No, the underrated part was that when he jumped, the ball pause was like down there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Held it there, then brought it up, tapped the backboard, and you know what I'm saying? Like that required a significant amount of hang time. So
the most insane part of the dunk contest was Jericho Sims dunking, putting two arms in the rim, and then going and following that up by pulling himself up from the net and putting one arm in the rim.
He didn't even put two in the first time. His second arm.
Yeah, I know. That was the most insane thing that he really thought he was doing, and then ripped open the paper with the 50. That was the most insane part of the dunk contest. But no, Saturday as a whole, I didn't really enjoy it. Like I said, 3-point contest was cool, but
you know what it is, bro? There was no bitches in the building. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really what it boils down to. You feel me? Like, the energy is different when there's mad bitches in the building, and you can tell that there were just not a lot of bitches. A lot of empty seats. You know what I'm saying?
Honestly, Friday was more entertaining than Saturday.
Yeah. X just got a one-track mindset at the moment.
I mean, so I'm wilding? Come on, son. Come on. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying?
I thought Saturday was dope. Skills.
He said there's a bunch of Jordan pools in the building.
And then the thing is, like, normally, like, you would have, like, you know, like, mad NBA players in the front row. Like, they have role players. They have, like, fucking Alex Caruso sitting front row. You know what I'm saying? Recording, like,
Grant Williams was out there.
Yeah.
I thought Saturday was dope, though. I mean, Skills Challenge been asked to me.
That's what I'm saying, like.
But even the old format, I've never been impressed by a bunch of grown men like running around cones, essentially. Like that shit's never really done a lot for me.
They got to bring back the shooting competition with the teams where they would have one WNBA.
Oh yeah, and they had
NBA
shooting from half court and shit.
Yeah.
What was that? The Shooting Stars Challenge or some shit like that, right?
Yeah. And then they would just
that shit was
have
tough.
the bucket. They would have to hit the half court shot.
Yeah,
that shit was actually fun. Bring that back.
The 3-point contest was as good as it could get without Steph and Clay out there, realistically. And then
honestly, you just needed Steph.
No, wait, that's another thing we gotta talk about, bro. Why is Julius Randle, who's barely a 30% 3-point shooter in the in the 3-point contest? I don't care if he was a replacement. There's plenty of people you could have asked to replace in the 3-point contest instead of Julius Randle. Like that's just ridiculous, bro. Like, and like my cousin, we was on the FaceTime and he's like, yo, Julius Randle 3-point contest. I'm like, no, he's not. Like, it makes no sense, bro. Like,
but and then dunk contest was fire. Like, even if you were only impressed by one dude's dunks, like the Vince Carter year, do you remember anybody else's dunks?
Pete Francis with the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
I didn't even really do that. So I guess that's one, I guess.
The Carter year, yeah. But
like the Jay Rich years, I don't remember anybody else's dunks. You know what I mean? Like, if one
J.R. Smith had some.
J.R. Smith wild out. Josh Smith with the inverted windmill. But see, that's
was
back.
That
and
the
that's
the
back
birthday
when
candle thing happened.
No, I don't think so.
He started off rough with blowing out the candle, which low key is impressive if we're being real. But you know what I'm saying?
The point is like if one dude is like crazy, and Trey Murphy has some solid dunks too, but like if one dude goes crazy the way Mac McClung did, in my opinion, that's all the dunk contest needs. Like every dunk he had was an easy 50. And he didn't miss a single one.
The Trey Murphy with the alley. Trey Murphy with the alley, like Kenny Smith brought it up during the commentary, and that's a good point. First off, the dunk was fire. But the fact that he didn't let the ball land, like he caught that and just went up with it when he threw the alley to himself. Like that's tough.
Tall players have a disadvantage because they can do
for a fact,
shit, but it don't look as impressive. So when you got somebody that's undersized and you see him get up, it just like Trey Murphy's shit technically was like wild difficult, but it's like I wasn't really blown away. You feel me?
Speaking of
that, even then, like his shit was wild difficult, but he went against a dude that did a 540.
Nah, yeah.
Like, bro, what are you gonna do?
So,
you know what I mean?
So speaking of tall dudes being at a disadvantage, do you think that's why Aaron Gordon didn't win the dunk contest against Zach LaVine?
Nah, he didn't win the dunk contest because LaVine was doing between the legs dunks from the free throw line.
From the free throw line, bro. Like that's some video game shit, bro. Like,
bro, he went behind his.
Nah, I don't know, bro. Taking the alley off the dude, spinning on the hoverboard, putting it. That was putting it underneath both legs and dunk. That's crazy, bro.
That's the one dunk contest, in my opinion, that was OD between multiple participants. Right, like most
that
years,
was crazy.
Like most years, one dude blows it away the way McClung did this year. That year, like two dudes just went crazy. Because Aaron Gordon sat down in midair.
That was probably the best dunk contest ever. Low key, that was the best dunk contest.
And even like
I'm about to go back watching dunk contest this weekend because
honestly,
and I'm gonna get back to you on that because that might be true, but I don't know, bro. Because while I can't remember everything vividly because that was mad blunts and bottles ago, I remember the dunk contest being OD. Like you ain't know who was gonna win in a lot of them shits growing up, and dudes was getting 50s.
Like which one?
But Kobe Bryant won with like a between the legs.
I'm not. Nah, that's too young. That's too young for me to remember any of that. I'm talking about like the Vince Carter years, the J.R. Smith years. Like I'm saying from like 99, 2000 to like 2005, 2006. The dunk contest really had like some savages in there. There was a lot of people that stunk it up. You had Birdman in there and shit, but like
I don't disrespect Birdman. I don't disrespect Birdman. That's an elite hooper. But I don't care who you got, Aaron Gordon, LaVine, Jay Rich, Vince. I'm putting McClung up there with all of them. I feel like he didn't even open up the bag like that on Saturday.
Yo, and I ain't gonna lie, that did remind me of the year Blake Griffin won. He tried to dunk that was like so OD. He tried to do self alley off the side of the backboard, 360 double pump, and he barely missed it, and then he just switched it to something else. If he would have hit that, I still think that would have been the craziest dunk I ever seen.
I think the 540 is the craziest dunk I ever seen. And honestly,
I still don't even really feel like it was a 540. To be honest, like a full 540. It
wasn't a full 540
because he already had his back to the basket by the time he took off.
But everyone does that. Like, how many dudes actually?
Is it still a 540 if he did that? That's more of a 360, maybe a 480.
I'm probably aging myself.
I could say the same thing about Vince's 360 windmill. It wasn't a full 360.
Look, no, but I'm probably aging myself, but there was a dude in N1 air up there. He did the
720, the 720.
Like, but you saw like he went up straight and then started rotating.
Yeah.
He wasn't gathering and spinning. Like he went up and spun. Like, so yeah, granted, that's probably some fucking anti-gravity shit. But look, it was for what.
But I'm not trying to take away from the dunk. The dunk was still OD.
And the 360 windmill, the 360 windmill he did with two hands. That's crazy.
That was beast. The double clutch he did.
Crazy.
Was beast.
The tap in the backboard, crazy. Like I said, I feel like he still has more in his bag too. Like I would put his dunk contest up there with anybody's.
And I said last week, I wouldn't be surprised if a G League would win the dunk contest.
J Rich's dunks were fire, but like, I don't know, it's a different era, different time period, right? Because like McClung could do all that too, and it doesn't look as cool as it did when J Rich did it because he was like the first one, you know what I'm saying?
I just think the creativity didn't exist back then, you know what I'm saying? But in terms of like elite jumpers, like Levine, J Rich, and then.
But do you think dudes like McClung are doing the dunks that they doing now? If it wasn't for those dudes doing those dunks back then, that you said there was no creativity?
No, I mean you gotta push the envelope, you know what I'm saying? Like once everything is out, like you. But then again, athletes are getting stronger, they jumping higher. Like
what they need to do is do what they like. How you remember like the Sprite Slam dunk contest from before, like that they be like in the streets on ESPN. Like they need to bring that in with just have nondescript dudes with bunnies. Have a dunk contest with them because they be doing some crazy shit on social media, bro.
Nah, I hate that shit.
Why?
I hate watching. I'd rather watch the dunk contest we watched Saturday than watch a dude that can do like a 960 in midair, but he can't dribble. I hate watching him run towards the basket without dribbling. I can't stand that shit. Like you can't hoop. You can just jump real high. I don't really like. I'd rather watch.
I mean, it's not a hoop game though,
which is fine. But like for the NBA slam dunk contest, I want to see them be able like. If you just run to the basket and you don't hit a gather dribble before you jump, I don't want nothing to do with that. I'm good. Save that shit for TBS after dark.
Yo, so what'd y'all think about the All-Star game?
And now that was trash.
Now, how you feel about Jason Tatum breaking the scoring record with the way that the players clearly haven't taken the All-Star game serious in a while.
I disagree with that.
And I mean, why do you disagree with that before I even go any further?
I thought the last couple they did. Maybe not for a full 48 minutes, but
like, but that's what I mean. Like, because they always
that though.
I don't want them to treat it like a regular NBA game, but like
the first time they
took it more serious.
The first time they did the Elam ending, it was fun because the game was close. The problem with this game is that because one team won every quarter, like it's like, all right, Elam ending, you got to make up 16 points. Like, bro, no one's playing enough defense to come back from 16 points in a fucking All-Star game. Yeah. So it's just a situation of it. The Elam ending can be a good idea when it's a close game, but the game itself, bro, they just chucking up fucking half-court shots. Like, bro, they don't want to be there. We don't want to watch them not want to be there. Like, put the fucking.
Then you got a few people that take this shit super serious though, and be gunning for that MVP.
But the dudes that take it seriously weren't there. That's what they.
No, I'm not even talking about the W. I'm talking about gunning for the MVP.
No, I'm saying that the dudes that take the game seriously, that push the envelope, that force everyone else to step up, they weren't there. That's what
you're talking about, Steph.
I'm talking about Steph and Giannis. Yeah.
Yeah, Giannis played what, like 20 seconds?
Yeah, because he's hurt. Like,
Yeah, I know.
if everyone's healthy, I think we see a different game. Like, it.
Braun got hurt and didn't play the second half.
Yeah, the last 3 All-Star games, in my opinion, prior to this, where they were doing what X was talking about, I don't know what the word, Elam ending.
Yeah.
And that when they do the 3 quarters where each quarter is like a win or whatever, I thought each one of those have been pretty good. Like, they've been pretty exciting. Maybe the first 7-8 minutes of the quarter is like highlight reel, but they took the last 4 minutes of each quarter seriously, and those final 24 points they took seriously. This year they didn't take anything seriously. I don't know what the reasoning is for that, but that shit sucked.
It was awful, bro. Stop putting the All-Star games in some these bum-ass fucking cities in Indy and fucking Salt Lake. Like, bro, nobody gives a shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
You think that plays a part in like certain players not wanting to participate in it? Just because of where it's at?
They asked Luka what the best part of All-Star Weekend was. He said, when I get on the plane to go to Mexico. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what he said. Bro, do you know how many people were flying out of Salt Lake as soon as that game ended, bro? They were in Vegas, they were in LA, like they was out there. You know what I'm saying? That shit trash, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that shit don't make sense.
No one wanted to be there. Like, obviously the Steph and Giannis aspect, you could have put that game in Las Vegas and those two wouldn't have been able to play. But like, I do feel like there's probably a lot of dudes that like would have fought. KD comes back next week. If this game is in LA, KD probably plays in it.
Plus, look, there's really only 2 prototypes of players that are fun to watch. You got the Currys and the Dames that can pull it from half court, and when they catching fire, that's fun to watch. And then you got like the insane athletes that are catching oops. But like, bro, I have no desire to watch Luka playing the All-Star game. I have no interest in watching Jokic playing the fucking Embiid. I'm good. I don't want to watch 90% of these motherfuckers in All-Star game scenario because, yo, DeMar DeRozan pulled up for 2 mid-range jumpers, bro. His first 2 possessions. I don't want to watch that shit in the All-Star game. You feel me? So I think it's more so like
he got introduced as the undisputed mid-range king.
Bro, just disgusting. Like, nah, I don't like that. You know
There's
what I'm
saying? A lot of dudes missing too. Like Sabonis isn't like a fun All-Star. Fox isn't a fun All-Star. Jaren Jackson Jr. isn't a fun All-Star. Like, if you look at the last like 7 picks, none of them are fun All-Stars. Like Levine, that's a fun All-Star.
That's a fun All-Star.
Devin Booker, that's a fun All-Star. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like AD for whatever.
Zion,
AD. Like, there's a lot of names that were missing on Sunday. A ton of names. And it's cool that like NBA Twitter's favorite players got to have an All-Star, so they like feel proud of themselves because they said some shit. But like, well, the 22 dudes there, half of them won't ever go to another All-Star.
Yeah, let's just move on, bro. I hate that.
But next year, maybe not next year, but in the next 2 to 3 years, we're gonna have an All-Star game that has Steph, Braun, Wemby, Scoot, Dame, Book, like Zion. That shit's gonna be crazy.
All I'm saying is low key, Silver is low key a terrible fucking commish, and the NBA is in real fucking danger of like being like not that popular. You know what I'm saying? I think we live in a bubble because we're all on Twitter and we're active on Twitter, so we think that like the NBA is really lit like that. Most the casual fan, they only watching TNT and maybe, and with the load management, like the NBA's popularity is going down, and then you combine that, this is supposed to be their fucking main event, you know what I'm saying? And it's also fucked up because of the timing, you know what I'm saying? It's just like nobody wants to watch about the fucking All-Star game at that time, but anyway.
So what would you do to make to like save All-Star weekend other than make the game earlier in the day?
Do it the week before the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Ain't shit to watch the week before the Super Bowl. People are missing football. They want to watch. They want something to watch. Give them the All-Star game that weekend. You know what I'm saying?
And that puts it closer to the middle of the season.
Yeah, there's like 16 games left, bro. You know what I'm saying? And the thing, you having it after the Super Bowl, like it's like the Super Bowl was last week. Now it's the All-Star game. It's like, bro, like no. If you had the choice between Arizona and Salt Lake, you're going to Arizona for the Super Bowl, to club, to party, to be around the bitches. And now it's like, now I got to fly to Salt Lake City. Like, nah, bro, that's just trash. Give it to me the week before the Super Bowl. I promise you it'll be much more exciting.
So there's about 20 games left in the season for every team, give or take a couple games.
Real quick, Lerk, real quick. X said something like how Adam Silver is a horrible commissioner and like no one really cares to watch or whatever. But or casual fans. I think the issue is like there's fans, and if this clip picks up steam, I'm gonna get killed. Analytics are ruining the NBA. Everyone is a casual fan. Everyone has a very, very, very what they feel like is deep level thought opinion, but they're not actually watching the games. I saw a stat, this is why I think this. I saw a stat today the NBA put out. It broke engagement on social media for any sporting event in like the last like 5 years. The All-Star game did, but it had record low viewership all the way back to 2000. That tells me that a lot of these dudes
wasn't even watching the game. They were just talking.
They don't watch
shit.
the games. They go on NBA.com/advanced stats and look at D-Raptor or the LeBron stat or the Giannis stat.
Oh,
and they come with these bullshit opinions.
Yeah, Matt
and that shit's ruining the game, bro. There's no reason to watch basketball no more. You think you know something because of some stupid ass stat that you don't even know what the fuck it means.
I don't think it's to do with the stats. It's just the thing is like there's probably people in the NBA office who are showing Silver like these engagement numbers and thinking like, yo, what you're doing is working. But the fact is, honestly, it's just there's too many fucking games. You feel me? And then it's like there's a reason. The reason the NFL will always be number one is because there's 17 of those motherfuckers. The reason the EPL is so popular, like look at the viewership numbers for fucking Arsenal City, bro. There hasn't been an NBA game with that many viewers in a fucking decade. You feel what I'm saying? Why? Because every game feels like a fucking event. There's just too many games. There's just too many games. But the owners will never cave because they don't want to give up the revenue. But there's too many games. Cut it down to like 60. So that way there's not as much load management. Like, you know what sucked? Somebody gifted me fucking tickets for the Mavericks 6 months in advance. Then the day of the fucking game, I find out 10 minutes before that dude was out for fucking rest. It's shit like that. And it's like, as expensive as it is to go to an NBA game when you got a family, and then that might be the only time seeing them play, and the fucking people you're going to see are out for some bullshit reason. It's like, bro, that's killing it, bro. It's not as fun to watch.
It's crazy. I was talking about something similar to this earlier with one of my boys. We just live in an age where the modern American athlete, professional athlete, is just soft and entitled, and we're not like what we grew up on, like the type of athletes we grew up on, and like their mental makeup is just different. Like dudes are willing, yeah, cause dudes were.
Is it?
Look, and then the funny shit is like, and it's also the NBA too, right? Cause like then you got all these people, like you said, right, with the load management and the rest. But then Stan Van Gundy was talking about this recently on Twitter, though, like. They say all this load management and all these different things that they do to like reduce the player's risk of injury, but the amount of injuries keep increasing. Like dudes are getting hurt more frequently than ever before. So at what point do they realize that what they're doing is counterproductive and they change
No,
things?
look,
is the mindset
there was a study the other day, right, where they were pretty much polling, like, I think it was like kids between the ages of like 8 and maybe 14 or some demographic, but a younger demographic. And they were pretty much just asking them like, yo, showing them pictures of like Luka, Jokic, or, players. And the percentage of little kids that could easily identify, quote unquote. And it wasn't NBA. It was mostly, you know what I'm saying? Because the NFL doesn't market individual players, so, that doesn't count. But like baseball players, basketball players, like the number of kids that could easily identify these stars has gone way down. And you would think that wouldn't be the case because of social media. But the fact is that kids that are younger and younger are just not becoming sports fans at the clip that they used to. So what's going to happen is that when those 8-year-olds become 18-year-olds and now they have disposable income, that money's not going towards the
That's because they all stuck on Fortnite and Roblox.
But it's like, but now they said that what the NHL did, the NHL purposely started using TikTok to market. And now their brand awareness and their engagement has skyrocketed because it's particularly targeting those fucking 8-year-olds and trying to find a way to make the game interesting to them. The NBA is not doing a good enough job of doing that. You feel what I'm saying? So, but it's a bigger conversation, but
yeah, it's a bigger conversation because I feel like a lot of that style of play, like I think if you put Steph's picture up against any other athlete outside of like maybe like Ronaldo or Messi, he's going to be the most easily picked out like athlete in the world.
Him and LeBron probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe LeBron. I actually I don't. Yeah, maybe LeBron. I think the style of play that like the heliocentric style of play that like a Luka, even a Bron, obviously like a Harden, a lot of like these big stars in the NBA play nowadays. Like I don't really think and no kid's gonna fuck with Jokic, bro, or Embiid or Giannis. Like that's never gonna fucking happen. So I think style of play plays a part in it too, but is the mindset of the players different than it was in the 90s, or is the way the players made money in the 90s different than it is the way they do now?
But that I knew you was gonna go with that. And does that not affect their mindset though? Like that goes back to what we were talking about last week when you was talking about people. Well, a couple weeks ago when Braun broke the record, and you was talking about that they don't have to go as hard because they make way more money now. So it's like,
But you also play like if you think about the way they played basketball like in the 90s, right? Like especially as children. Like I don't really know how to explain. I don't know how to explain it without sounding like a dickhead, but like I realistically have probably played more basketball games in my lifetime than like Jordan has.
because of all the AAU games and shit, and that's something that I brought up too. Though it's like, yo, you could play 600 games in 48 hours, but you can't play 3 games in 5 nights, bro.
But the wear and tear that it does on your body, like again, I don't want to sound like I'm gonna sound like a dickhead. My body's probably more broken down than a lot of them dudes that played in the 90s. That's why I think that's why you see the injuries increasing.
Yeah.
You have a 23-year-old that has a 40-year-old body.
I mean, look at baseball with pitchers. Like,
Okay, I
how many
understand
fucking
what you
kids
said.
need Tommy John surgery out of high school? Like, that's insane. Why? Because they're not being taught the proper technique, the proper fundamentals. So they,
Well, yeah, I mean that
and the
and
social
like
media too. Like, look, a
pitching
lot
is
of players
not a
don't want to
natural
get
thing.
banged on because they don't want to go viral. A lot of players don't want to really play deep because if they get crossed up, like the reason why Giannis is so likable is because Giannis will go out there and airball a fucking 3-pointer because his team needs him to pull that 3-pointer to create spacing. But there's a reason why Ben Simmons is still Ben Simmons because Ben Simmons is not willing to look bad out there. There's certain players that are not willing to look bad out there, especially and on defense. They're like, look, I'll play defense to a point, but the second I could potentially get crammed on and get crossed, like, no, I'm good. It's Matador. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're just not. They're not willing to
Speaking
fucking.
of players willing to look bad out there, that's something that Russell Westbrook has done for a while now. Has looked bad out there. He is officially, I don't know if it's official the signing, but he's officially agreed
It's
to
official.
be with the Los Angeles Clippers. Now the Clippers got rid of John Wall and Reggie Jackson at the trade deadline, brought in Eric Gordon, Mason Plumlee, and Bones Highland, and now they added Russ to the mix. We've seen Russ stink it up his whole time with LA. We always knew that wasn't a great fit. Paul George seems to believe that this is a perfect fit for Russ and for what they need. Deion, let's start with you. How do you feel about Russ going to the Clippers? What does this mean for the Clippers? How does he fit with the Clippers?
It all depends on the conversations they had behind closed doors. If
Uh,
the
uh,
combo is like you're gonna be the starter right now, and if it works and you're productive, that will continue. But the moment it doesn't, you get yanked. Then I think it's a great signing. They have no point guard, so bringing in as many point guards as possible and doing a trial run with each player to figure out who like runs the point the best is like, I mean, that's the only thing you really can do, right? At that point, you have to be quantity over quality and hope one hits. If they guaranteed he was going to be the starter for the rest of the season, then I think that's stupid. I don't think they have a ton of shooting on the roster, which is what you need around Russ. Tyronn Lue, as you can tell by the moves they made at the deadline, is committed to one big man being on the floor at all times, which means there's going to at least be 2 players on the court that can't shoot. I don't think PG can shoot like that. I can live with Marcus Morris shooting. The only person that puts the fear of God in me when he catches the ball is Kawhi. I mean, Eric Gordon too, to be honest, like if he catches it on the wing, but I mean,
yeah,
from like their
and they still
projected
got
starting
and
lineup.
they still got Luke Kennard, right? But he don't start, right?
No,
They
they
don't. He's
traded
on
him.
the Grizzlies.
Oh, he
But
got traded to the Grizzlies, yeah.
yeah, Eric Gordon does. Bones Highland, I can live with him shooting. Like they have more shooting than the Lakers, but they have shooting. Like if you're a playoff team and you go with a game plan, you're not over helping or you're willing to overhelp and leave them. That's not what Russ needs. He needs people that like you will not leave that person and he can go one on one. If he can go one on one,
But
he's
then,
still
but if
productive.
you overhelp and leave them, doesn't well, it is Russ, but one would assume that he's gonna kick it out to the open shooter.
But you
But
can
it
live
is
with that.
Russ.
You
You
would
can
Yeah, I
live with
think,
mean
but
yeah, you
that's
can live
playing
with
into
that.
the defensive hands.
Yeah, you can live with that. You'd rather
look,
have Russ doing that than and I
And
don't like Bones Highland. I think Bones
to
Highland
speak
stinks.
on your point about before X gives his input, to speak on your point about the conversations behind closed doors. In the article that ESPN put out, allegedly they did have conversations behind closed doors and they all on the same page about what his role will be with the team moving forward, but they didn't specify what his role is. And if I'm not mistaken, last game I watched before the All-Star game with them, they had Terrence Mann running the point guard. So I would
bro.
expect him to be the starter. I don't think it's gonna work out too well for
No,
them, but I would
he
expect him to be the starting point guard.
he's gonna be the starter. Like I don't care about that. Like he should be the starter.
It's just how
Bones
long
Highland
will he
should,
be the starter if it doesn't work?
if it's what happens when it doesn't work. If you have to start him to make him happy because you made a promise, then that's bad.
That's dumb. Yeah. What are
I
your
think they're
thoughts on
looking
this?
at. I think they signed up for the same reason the Lakers did. They figured, yo, he could come in and he could just eat some innings up, right? He can be the engine of the offense. So, maybe get us some transition to kind of ease some of the burden off of just Kawhi and PG going one-on-one. But I think he may be useful in the regular season, but in the playoffs, he's going to kill their fucking offense because he's going to force them to go small. And then at that point, you're going small at the 5. You've got Westbrook playing point of attack defense. They're going to get fucking murdered. And then fucking offensively, like Deion alluded to, if he's playing offense with a big man, then there's no reason to leave Kawhi, PG, Norm Powell, Eric Gordon. It's going to be the clunkiest fucking offense ever. So I hate the move. I don't think this raises their ceiling at all.
Look,
I just gives them more ways to fail.
I've always hated Russ, even when he was in his prime. Never been a fan of his game, but the Clippers are one of the slowest teams. Like they play a very slow game. They're at the bottom of the league in pace. Does Russ still have what it takes to push the tempo, get them to speed up the pace a little bit,
But who's running with him?
help them
Yeah, if he's
get
running
some
by
buckets
himself,
in
it doesn't matter.
Who's
transition.
running on the wing with him?
So
Marcus
no,
Morris?
so no,
Like,
he does
why
no.
not running?
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, no.
Does he help in that regard? Because
No.
apparently, like that they desperately need that, especially like come playoff time. Like you got to get out in transition, create turnovers, get out in transition. I don't know. I personally like don't see Russ being in the league much longer, regardless of how things play out with the Clippers. I give it maybe another year tops before he's gone, because his ego's not gonna allow him to accept a smaller role, and he don't really fit. Like he don't really fit with anybody, to be honest. But like as far as like trying to win, he 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 doesn't need to be on a team that's tanking or not trying to win, and he doesn't fit on a team that's trying to win. Like he doesn't do what you need if you're trying to win a championship.
I haven't seen this motherfucker set a screen and roll to the basket in the last 5 years. And that's the role for him. Like a Bruce Brown type of role. Like set screens, get the ball, on the move, go 4-on-3, then you can use that athleticism to either attack the paint or make the pass. Because low key, if you look at his numbers, he's a terrible fucking finisher at the rim. So most teams are gonna be comfortable with him being the one shooting around the rim because he's not a good finisher. You know what I'm saying? So at that point, they're gonna play him straight up, and it's gonna be so easy to bait him into taking those little bullshit fucking elbow jumpers and those leaning fucking shots. It's gonna be a fucking disaster, bro. And then we'll all act surprised, even though we all know.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw 5 names out there real quick. They're not really like anybody special, but these are players that are available on the free agent market now that like a lot of teams have. Like what the buyout deadline's what, the first, right? The end of the month. But let's see what you think about any of these players and if they're gonna land anywhere before the postseason. Serge Ibaka, Hassan Whiteside, LaMarcus Aldridge, John Wall, and Will Barton.
Will Barton.
Pardon me.
Only Will Barton, though. Maybe Hassan.
No, I don't see Hassan.
I can
Barton.
see
Somebody will talk
I can see
themselves into Barton being able
I can
to
see the
beat
Warriors
3D.
sign the Hassan.
I think Barton would fit on quite a few contenders.
Serge can give you 10 minutes. I think Serge ends up on a contender. LaMarcus Aldridge just doesn't play enough defense. Because really it's like, can you come in, can you play defense, can you know? And I don't.
Is Serge even healthy?
Probably not, but somebody will sign him. You know what I'm saying?
I like Will Barton, bro. Like I really think he could help a few teams coming off the bench, provide scoring, some shooting, fill in for as a stopgap for a couple games if somebody's out with an injury or that bum ass low management shit. But now that the dust is settled, for the most part, trade deadlines passed. You're not gonna really see any other big names get bought out or signed. Who's your favorite to come out of the West, Deion?
The Warriors.
X?
I don't want to say it, but probably Warriors.
How's Steph's ankle? Like any update on that?
They said he gets reevaluated in a week. He's back on the court.
Okay.
Today.
Okay, cool. That's what's up.
I mean, that's if they get in. I don't know. That's if they get in. I honestly believe the best two teams in the West are the Warriors and Lakers, but I don't know if they're going to be both like get in.
Yeah, that was something that I wanted to ask you about too. Is how
the
you
Nuggets
feel
would
about the
fucking
now.
The Nuggets would gentlemen sweep the fucking Lakers. Are you kidding me?
I disagree.
Jokic would fucking tear these motherfuckers apart.
That's what that was something I wanted to ask Deion about because he's always said that if the Lakers get rid of Russ, it don't matter who they get in return, they're instantly his favorite to win the West. And then he didn't say the Lakers just now. That's why I led with him. I wanted to see what he said because the Mavericks have gotten better, the Suns have gotten better, the Warriors are still the Warriors, the Clippers. I think
got better of all the teams.
Yeah,
that's the team.
Wait, now. So, are you saying that solely on just Mason Plumlee because you said
Eric Gordon?
You said the Russ. Oh yeah, the Mason Eric Gordon because you said Bones Highland stinks. You said Russ stinks. I forgot about Eric Gordon for 5 seconds. Eric Gordon, a problem.
I've said it from the beginning of the season. I don't give a fuck how the Clippers looked in the regular season because they don't really try. But in the few games, right, they hate fucking Luka and they hate the Mavericks. Watch how they play against us and a couple other teams where they actually take it serious. They look like the best team in the Western Conference. So assuming health, which I know is a big if, bro, they're probably top with me. They're right there with the Warriors in terms of fucking best teams in the West. And I don't give a fuck how they look on a Tuesday against Charlotte. Right.
So y'all not buying the Suns with KD?
Oh shit, damn. Yeah.
No. Not yet.
Chris Paul, Ayton.
Is it because you haven't seen it yet, Deion? Like you need to see something first? Because
they got no depth. I think the Warriors can run them off the court.
Foul trouble or injury and it's over for them?
They're just gonna get tired, bro. Like it ain't
that too.
Like it ain't the reason I say I think the Warriors and Lakers are the two best teams in the West is because whether it's LeBron or it's the Warriors team in general, there is no like you can be up 3-1, it doesn't really matter. You can be up 2-1, it doesn't matter. You can be up 3-0, it doesn't matter in a series, right? The intensity you have to play at for 48 minutes over the course of a 7-game series isn't going to be replicated against any other team. I don't think the Suns can keep up with that.
I would believe in the Suns if DeAndre Ayton was like 10% better. He just has no heart, man. He could physically dominate. He just doesn't because he's soft as baby shit on both ends of the court. And because of that, I'm like, I don't know how they're really going to get stops. Chris Paul, you're not sitting in front of nobody. DeAndre Ayton, he can be had. And they lost their two best wing defenders in Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson. So it's like, who they got playing defense on the wings? KD? No.
Not anymore, yeah.
Booker not shutting nobody fucking down.
Nah, KD gonna be playing defense in the post.
Who starts at power forward for them?
KD. They're gonna get put in a fucking blender.
Then who starts at the 3 if KD starts at the 4? Give me their
Who they
starting
got
small
starting
forward.
right now?
Give me their starting
TJ
small
Warren.
forward and the first two
TJ
dudes off the
Warren.
bench.
TJ Warren's gonna start probably.
Exactly. Warriors in 4.
Yeah, no, I'm just not. Yeah, I don't think they get deep. I don't think they get enough stops when it matters. And I think somebody who can be as mechanical as like the Clippers, like if Kawhi is on, he's gonna tear them motherfuckers to shreds. And there's nothing that nobody in that team can do to fucking stop it. You know what I'm saying? Like the Nuggets, low key, Jokic, bro. Like, what are you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Like he's gonna toy with Aiden, and he's gonna tear those motherfuckers apart. So because of that.
Well,
I don't buy it.
I think what you do with Jokic is, I think you just let him go crazy. Like that team can't get stops either, and I think you're more likely to get them to miss eventually than they are to get you to miss eventually.
Just guard everybody else and let Jokic do his thing.
Jokic is the greatest offensive player like we may have ever seen. He's gonna get 35, 10, and 10 without blinking, and then a full 8 hours of sleep too. But he ain't gonna get a stop on the other end. Jamal Murray ain't stopping nobody. Michael Porter Jr. ain't stopping nobody. Like, I don't even think Aaron Gordon's that good of a defender, to be honest.
Nah, you want him.
He's okay. Like, but he's not bad.
I mean, he's not enough to like fucking single-handedly, but
he's not he's not. I mean, he's not Wiggins. He's not Draymond. He's not AD. You know what I'm saying? Like some of these other dudes that these other teams can throw at you. Like he's a solid defender, but he's not elite by any means.
So, who's your favorite to come out the East, X? Boston?
Probably the Bucks.
Yeah, I agree.
We haven't seen them healthy really in 2 years. But if Middleton is healthy, Drew's hot, if he's healthy, and fucking Giannis is cooking, I trust them over the Celtics. Honestly,
I don't think the Celtics that good. I don't know. I think in a 7-game series they're mental midgets, man. But hey, maybe they learned last year.
I would assume they did, but can't just assume, right?
I mean, you don't know. Like the one thing I do know that they learned is what it takes to play into June from a stamina aspect. But like, I don't know if they learned everything else that it takes to play into June.
They too overly reliant on Horford. And I don't think you can trust Horford for 4 straight playoff series to give you what you need. And then it's just a lot of fucking Tatum's shoulders, which look, he can explode, but if you're asking him to do all that and be locked down on the other end, I'm gonna have to see that he can do that. You know what I'm saying? For 4 series before I just say, yeah, he probably lock him into.
I kind of think they're Grizzlies East. They talk a lot. Like they just talk a lot. And when other teams talk back, they kind of freeze a little bit. And Giannis ain't scared of shit. So all that Marcus Smart bullshit, with all due respect to him, defensive player of the year, phenomenal talent, that shit ain't working against Giannis.
You know.
So speaking of, you think he wins defensive player of the year again this year?
Smart ain't played in like 2-3 months.
Nah, Giannis.
Oh, nah. It'll probably be Jaren, I guess.
Okay. Well, before we get into our picks this week, gotta talk a little bit of baseball. Baseball season's right around the corner. Spring training is about to get underway soon. Teams are reporting to camp. So let's have some fun with a little bit of over-unders like we do with every other sport. We're gonna start with the American League East. Your Yankees. They went 99-63 last year. Lost in the American League Divisional Series in the Championship Series. Got swept by the Astros. Disgusting behavior, but at least they even made it that far, I guess. Hang the banner. They ain't really do shit in the offseason. They re-signed reigning MVP Aaron Judge to a 9-year contract. They signed Deion's boy, Carlos Rodon. And then they ain't really do shit besides that. Vegas Insider has the over-under at 94.5. It's not much worse than last year. What are you taking, the over or the under?
Who, me or X?
If Aaron Hicks is starting at left field, give me the under. I hate Aaron Hicks.
I don't think you might be in the minority of Yankee fans to say that, but I actually agree with you.
Who
I know
show
a lot
me
of
an Aaron
Yankee
Hicks
fans.
fan
I know a lot of
and I'll
Yankee.
show you a liar.
I know a lot of Yankee fans that love Aaron Hicks because of his defense. But Deion under 94.5.
Yeah, I got the under. Carlos Rodona, bitch. That little stunt he
he's
pulled
not
talking
that
about, yo, Giants fans won't boo you. Yankees fans will. There's more pressure over here. Yankees ain't won shit. Yankees ain't won shit in 2 decades. I ain't trying to hear all that. Fuck all that. Under. Way under. Aaron Judge a bitch too.
Is that because he didn't come home and make his
listen,
promise from like 15 years ago?
He was scared of the real pressure. Ran from the grind. There's a lot to live up to out here.
Now, while I agree with your original statement by calling them bitches,
scared of the pressure.
I don't understand how you could say there's more pressure playing for the Giants than there is the Yankees.
You gotta win dynasties out here. Yankees, you just gotta have a good off the field lineup. Ask Derek Jeter.
All right, next up we got the Toronto Blue Jays. They won 92 games last year. The projected total is 90.5. Deion, you taking the over or under?
Yeah, shout out to my son Vlad Jr. I got way over. There's 100 win
Yeah,
ball
he's a problem.
Yeah, he's OD. And
he said
a
like, problem.
I seen he said something like I didn't really know what I was swinging at last year. I said, yo, fam, like yeah, like 60 home runs. You didn't know what you were swinging at?
Yeah, like that's crazy. He's such a fucking beast. His pops was a beast. But I like the over on this. They signed Chris Bassett. They improved their pitching staff, bullpen and the rotation. They added some depth in the outfield. I like this. If they could stay healthy, 100 is not out of the realm of possibility. I think that's a bit of a reach on your end, but 94, 95 wins don't seem wrong with Toronto. X, what you got?
I got the over. I think they probably win the division.
I thought they was gonna win the division this year. Last year to be honest.
Well, the Yankees went crazy, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about like before the season started. The Yankees started off the season on some like the first week or two they played mediocre, and then for the next few months they was just in a whole nother class of their own. It was crazy. Shout out to them. Fuck them motherfuckers. Tampa Bay Rays, poverty franchise that's actually outperformed a lot of teams over the last few years, but still a poverty franchise, refuse to spend money, always trading away their best players just for prospects. Over unders at 89.5. They won 86 last year. I'm gonna take the under. I think they stay right around that 86 to 88 this year. They ain't make no moves in the off season. They ain't gonna ever spend money. I just don't see them ever being like a 95 win team.
That's where you're wrong. I'm taking the over. When the Rays don't do shit, they come back with 17 different prospects that throw 105 miles an hour. They might win 110. This is the perfect Rays year.
Well, they signed Zach Eflin, but he's a bum, and they gave him a 3-year contract.
If they had a quiet offseason, that means they got 10 Dominicans cooking in that minor league system that are going to come up hitting 30 home runs and shit. They do this all the time.
Wander Franco missed a lot of last year.
Wander Franco's a problem.
So I'm taking the over. Give me the over.
I'm gonna stick with the under. I respect your boldness, Deion, you and X, but I ain't fucking with it. Baltimore Orioles,
under
another poverty franchise.
They're gonna have less wins than the Ravens had.
Yeah, give it under.
Yeah, under 76.5 is crazy.
You can make it 60.
Yeah, under.
Oh, Boston
Lamar
Red
Jackson
Sox
will have more guaranteed money than they have wins.
Yo, you're such a dickhead, bro. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like, the shit this man comes up with. Boston Red Sox, they didn't really do nothing crazy. They signed Adam Duvall, who's way past his prime. They got Justin Turner. They gave Rafael Devers the bag, which he deserved that shit. They signed a bunch of over the hill veterans for the most part. And then they got that dude from Japan who's supposed to be a problem. He's supposed to be a problem in the outfield. They ain't do shit last year. It was a disaster for them. They won 78 games. They're projected to win 78 and a half this year. I'm gonna take the over. Whenever you count the Red Sox out, that's when they seem to really get on their bullshit and catch everybody by surprise. I think they're at least the 85 to 90 win team.
Is Trevor Story playing? Didn't he get hurt like this offseason? Or they said he has an uncomfortable elbow or something like that.
Story?
I could look into that, but I don't care about Trevor Story. He ain't all that anyway.
I mean, he's their best infielder besides Devers.
What's the over under?
79 and a half.
78 and a half.
I'm gonna go slightly over. I think they finished like 81 and 8. Like that team just screams 500, so I can see them going 81 and 81. So leaving us the over slightly.
I got the under. I'm pretty sure Trevor Story's hurt, so I'm gonna take the under.
Yeah, he's ramping up for opening day.
Yeah, I'll take
his
under.
goal is to play on opening day. So he did the same procedure that they talking about Brock Purdy's gonna get, where it's like not exactly. So it's not the same as Tommy John, but it's in the same area, pretty much treating the same injury or similar injury.
Purdy and his doctor came out yesterday and said they have to postpone the surgery due to swelling.
Because of swelling.
And they said they won't know what they're gonna do till they cut his elbow open.
Yeah, but the plan is to do the internal brace. It's not that they said that it doesn't look like he needs Tommy John.
Yeah, but when they came out and said they won't know till they cut his elbow open, I said, all right, bro, like I don't really care until you cut it open.
I didn't mean to put the focus on Purdy, but so Story's gotten a internal brace, so he could be back relatively soon.
So he got that recently?
He did that a month ago, and they said the average recovery time is 3 months. Well, they said that Purdy, if Purdy gets this surgery, what I read was that if Purdy gets this surgery, he'll be able to start throwing again in 3 months.
Yeah, and then he can't play for 6.
So I would say, and then they saying that he's ramping up for opening day, but he doesn't really expect to be there, but early in the season.
Either way, I'll take the under. It sounds like he's not playing to me, so I'll take the under.
So it could take anywhere from 4 months to 8 to 10 months. So yeah, I understand why you would take the under. Even without him, I like the over on this one. And then that's it. That's it for the American League East. We'll pick up with the next division next week. We still got 2 more divisions in the American League before we head over to the National League. Deion, you are in first place.
Yeah, standard, evergreen statement.
I mean, for the first time in the history of this show, we're all in the green at the same time. Period.
God for you.
Yeah, by the grace of Marcus Rashford. So, what are you going with for your first pick this week, Deion?
Yeah, I got Tottenham plus 150 against Chelsea, the end of Graham Potter.
Okay. I'm gonna go with the 76ers -4 against the Memphis Grizzlies.
Give me the opposite of Deion. Give me Chelsea. Whatever. I don't know what the odds are, but I'm sure you can find it.
It's like plus 175, plus 185.
Plus 1, yeah. Give me Chelsea.
I'm gonna take I'm gonna take Real Madrid minus 130 against Atletico Madrid.
What is what is that, Carabao or Europa on Sunday?
That's Carabao.
Oh, yeah, I'm trying to find the odds for that real quick. I'll stick with basketball for now till I find that. Give me what I took. Sixers was my first pick, right?
Yeah.
Give me Blazers Kings over 239.5.
Give me Napoli alternate spread minus 1.5 plus 115.
Give me a Manchester United plus 120 in the Carabao Cup on Sunday.
I was trying to find that. You're a piece of shit.
Yeah, Google's hard, I know.
Nah, I'm staying on DraftKings. Damn, that's crazy. Necking it from Cali is a crazy talent. Give me Celtics minus 8.5 versus the Pacers minus 105.
Give me Reims plus 110 against Toulouse.
All right, give me I'm gonna take give me the Blazers plus 5.5 against the Kings. That feels like a shitload of points.
Yeah, it does. I almost took that.
I feel like somebody's got to be hurt. I don't know about to be like Dame's not going to play or some shit.
Give me shit. Give me Lowry Markkinen over 27.5 points minus 110 against
Points?
OKC. Yeah, points over 27.5 points against OKC.
That's his line?
Yeah.
What's the odds on it? Minus 110?
Yeah.
All right, give me Barcelona minus 1.5 at plus 105 over Almeria.
They give me Lauri Markkinen under 27.5 points against OKC.
This is the last pick?
Yeah. But that's got to be points and rebounds.
I don't even like. I'm looking at it, and I really don't. I feel like it's not even worth it. Well, at minus 110, it's not worth it. But no, that's just points.
That's crazy. That's a shitload of points for Lauri Markkinen.
Yo, his points and rebounds is 36.5.
I might just bet all Lauri Markkinen unders tomorrow.
Did you give your last pick, Deion?
Yeah, I took Markkinen under 27. Oh. If I knew that was his totals, all 5 of my picks would be under points, under rebounds, under assists, under points, rebounds, and assists. Yeah, them totals that's out of control.
Give me Tyrese Halliburton over 2.5 threes at plus 120.
I'm gonna take a lane pick. Give me Arsenal minus 140 over Leicester.
I almost took that.
Yeah, I want to change. I gotta change that. That 27.5 for minus 110 just not sitting right with me. I don't like it. No, it's
we
not.
7 picks deep since you picked that.
It is 2 picks.
It's not like it was your last pick. You picked a whole nother one. You explained you wanted it. You double checked.
And the whole time I'm just looking at it like this shit is ugly. This is an ugly pick.
No, it's a loser. It is what it is.
Yeah, it definitely
it's not gonna
is.
Be the only one
That's
you
what
have
I'm
this week.
saying. It's a